Here's the intro for Unit 5, Characteristics of Parabolas. The practice is due for A-Day students on November 9th and B-Day students on November 10th. That will also be the day of your Test 5. Be sure to prepare with that with you doing plenty of practice before that day. You will begin by taking the Unit 5 pre-assessment on Canvas. Once you get your results, you'll put your level right here in the box. You'll either start with level 1, 2, or 3. On these lines provided, your role with your peers, you'll write that here. What do you plan to do? Do you plan to ask them lots of questions, help them out, keep them on task? You would describe that there. And then below that, write some goals for this unit. What do you plan to achieve for this unit? Do you want to barely pass and do the bare minimum? Do you want to have mastery over the different topics in here? Do you want to have something in the middle? How do you plan to achieve that goal? Write that here. Remember, to become proficient in something, the average student needs to spend 2 to 3 hours for every hour in class working on course material. That means you should be spending between 9 and 14 hours per week outside of class working on course material. This QR code will take you to the Test 5 Remediation assignment. This section is all about Chapter 3 from the textbook, the Big Ideas textbook. Here's a calendar of the topics and what you should be turning in on each of the days. So on the first day, the day that you should be watching this video, you need to make sure that you take the pre-assessment 5. On the second day, you need to turn at least one cherry quiz. On the third day, complete the review and finish up the packet. And then on the next day after that, turn in your packet and you'll take Test 5. Here's the vocabulary for this section. Please refer to it as needed. Make sure that you're familiar with each of these terms as well. Here's your transformation rules for functions paper again. For this page, use it as needed. Remember, we go up where it has a plus on the outside, down where it's a minus something on the outside, left where it's plus on the inside of the parentheses, minus what's on the inside of the parentheses, it goes right. If we have a negative for the whole thing, that's a reflection across the x-axis. If there's a negative in front of just the x, that's a reflection across the y-axis. And then we have V stretches, V compressions, H compressions, and H stretches. If you're just looking at the graph itself, a horizontal compression will look the same as a vertical stretch. And a vertical compression will look the same as a horizontal stretch. Those will look the same in the pictures, but you will need to specify them if you're given the function. Here's your warm-up page. Write down thoughts about the warm-ups posted on the board at the beginning of each class. Get a stamp on the day we do the warm-up. If for some reason you do not get a stamp or you were absent, still write the stuff from the warm-up, get that from up here, and then in the stamp box you'll just write absent. The goals for the warm-ups is for retrieval practice, introduction of a topic, and to collaborate and share with one another. When you're doing these warm-ups, think about what your favorite warm-up is and why. And also, how could these warm-ups be better at doing these 3 goals? Let's look at Canvas. So the module that you will be working with for this unit is the Unit 5 Characteristics of Parabolas module. Notice when we first started, there are no cherry quizzes visible. That's because you have to complete the pre-assessment first before they open up. As you're completing stuff for the modules, make sure that you complete the items until you get a check mark next to that item. For example, this has a minus, a red minus inside of a circle. That means that you could have started it, but it's not complete. Either it's too low of a score, or it's late, or something. It's not a check mark. If it has a blank circle like this one, that means you haven't even looked at it yet. So make sure that you submit those assignments. This one right here is considered complete because it has a check mark. Now, you will be referring to the Unit 5 rubric and notes throughout this unit, so even if it has a check mark, keep referring back to that page for more video notes and to get to the links on the rubric. Also, there's the Unit 5 review and peer tutoring. You'll want to go to that page whenever you want to ask for help from peers, or if you want to post something that will help other students in your class. You could do this for extra points for this unit. Let's go ahead and click on the Unit 5 pre-assessment and look at what it looks like when you started. So, there's going to be 8 questions. You get 3 points, so you're either going to start level 1, 2, or 3, or somewhere in between. And then there's a time limit of 30 minutes. So once you start it, please complete it in one setting. Also, turn this in by November 2nd. The rubric and notes page. Notice there's different tabs at the top. There's rubric and packet, and then excerpts from the textbook, 3.1, 3.2, 3.3, and 3.4. If you click on those, you'll have objectives, essential questions, vocabulary, excerpts from textbooks, videos, and so on. Look through those tabs if you need additional help, resources, or examples while you're going through the packets. Here's the tasks to be completed, when and where to turn them in. And here's a copy of the Unit 5 packet if you want to look at it from online. And then also here's the rubric for Unit 5. If you would like to make a copy of this for yourself, you can click here to make a copy of it. If you would like to just use the one on the page, you could do that as well. So, here are the 4 levels. If you are in level 1, these are the resources that you should be choosing from. You can always work on the packet no matter what level you are. But there's also other choices in each of the boxes. So like if you're level 1, for example, you could do this Desmos activity or the EDIA Chapter 3 overview. For level 2, there are some Delta Math assignments and EDIA assignments you could do. For level 3, there's other different assignments like EDIA 4B. And then for those that progress to level 4, make sure that you're posting some resources to help the other students for Unit 5 review. To level up to a new level, you need to complete the cherry quiz until the next cherry quiz was unlocked. For the third cherry quiz, level 3, you'll know that you'll progress to level 4 if you have a check mark next to that quiz. If you make your own copy of this, on the need to know or wonderings, write some questions that you would like to ask either your peers or me. Remember, you can ask me questions on Remind, or you can ask them during class or at tutoring. The video notes over the packet will be posted here once they're completed. And then there's also additional practice problems right here under Chapter 3 review. For those of you that are new to the course, you could click here for join links and tutoring links to join the specific Delta Math class periods, EDIA, the weekly tutoring link on Teams, etc. Once you complete all of Unit 5, all of these should be open. There's a pre-assessment, the notes, 3 cherry quizzes, and then the review. Eventually, I'll also post the review as well on this page. Notice on the Level 1 quiz, you can only get up to a 90 on that. Level 2 quiz, a 95, and then Level 3 quiz, you can get up to 105 points. So again, if you have any questions about how this process works, feel free to ask me either on Remind, in person, or tutoring.